51 of the PTE show. And tonight we have a special guest. He's one of our big
Our number one.
subscribers and fans, number one fan at that,
Yeah.
Brett T. And I think you know who you are, has some catching up to do.
Ooh, yeah, you know who
being
you
on an
ain't.
episode is like, bam, that's where it's at. Money, baby. But no, Brett is coming to us from the medical field, married with children. Really nice guy. We've been talking. He's been following the show, and he asked us if he could be on the show, and we said sure. What do you want to push the envelope on? So, but Ronan,
Yeah. So yeah, you know who you are. You gotta step your game up, bro, because you know who you ain't. You ain't Brett. But no, like we were on a live this morning. John suckered me into doing another show today, and right as we were getting off, Brett was talking about Charlie Kirk, and that's that's a big subject. Did you guys see the roast of Kevin Hart?
oh yeah,
I saw clips
Did
of it.
Did you hear the fucking dude? There were some fucking wild ass comments. There was Pete Davidson made a comment about Charlie Kirk, and I'm listen from a guy who says the word retard and calls people idiots and shit like that. Like I'm all for jokes, but like there's some like there. I always feel like there's a line that you don't cross. And one of the comments was, so and so like gets he gets a lot of it in the neck like Charlie Kirk. It was like
oh
it was
my
something
god.
like really fucking like raunchy.
I mean, some
Um,
people just have no class whatsoever. I mean, there's
yeah,
just certain lines, in my opinion, you don't cross.
yeah. So the Charlie Kirk thing to me, I remember I'll never forget when that happened. I was at the barbershop with my kid, and the barbershop I go to is like it's like it's a barbershop, right? And you go in and it's like it's all younger guys and they're all talking, they're cussing, and I got my fucking 8-year-old with me. And all of a sudden I hear, "Oh man, check this out." And the dude shows me his phone and it's the picture. It just happened. It's the picture of Charlie getting shot in the neck. And I was like, "Oh my god." Like I wasn't prepared to. It was just like, "Hey, watch this." And my kid's like, "Hey, can I let me see. Let me see." I'm like, "Fuck, no, you can't see this. This is like
Jesus.
traumatic right here." Um and I remember they were all kind of like joking about it, and it really like left a weird taste in my mouth. But that day was interesting because when I got home that day, I was fucking mad. I was like big mad, like um and I was never like a huge Charlie Kirk guy, but at the same time it's like it was like they crossed the line. Like that was a big fucking dude. I went on a bike ride that night and I don't normally ride bikes. And then
What, to
very next
reflect?
day I went to the range and I shot like 1,000 rounds.
No, you're
Um,
right. I'm glad you said that, Ronan. It was significant because it happened for me. Like, my experience with it was the day before my son graduated from Navy boot camp. So we were all at that. It's called pass in review for Navy basic training.
mhm,
And we were all there, and it was just a very, like, it's supposed to be a really happy day, and it really wasn't. And a
yeah,
lot of military families are conservative. So Charlie had a really close place in a lot of people's hearts,
yeah,
especially at something like this. So it was humbling and just sad all at the same time. So
yeah. They had a big vigil down here. We walked over the bridge of Clearwater. Um, but I felt like it was like it was almost like a new game. It was like, wow, okay, we're here. Like
yeah,
that
we are
that was
here.
like
Yeah.
cross the fucking line type of shit. It was he wasn't a president, but like you got to be crazy to tell me that that dude wasn't a future president, or
Sure.
at least
Or at
you know what I
least
mean. Like,
something big in American,
so it kind of felt like an assassination in a way.
What were your thoughts, Brett?
Um, I mean, obviously, the main thing that I would say is I'm sure you guys know, like Candace Owens. You guys have heard
Mhm.
how she was talking about all this stuff going on, and her and Erica Kirk were they both loved him. Candace loved him, I think, from being a supporter and things like that for what he did, and obviously Erica because it's his wife. But once that happened, you saw it just split. I mean, they went total opposite directions,
Yeah, they did.
and
Yeah.
totally disagreed on many things. And the main things that I've started thinking about is it's been 8 months now, 8 months. And
Yeah.
a lot has happened in America in the past 8 months, even in the world, but America itself, from
Yeah.
Venezuela to the longest shutdown in history to all this stuff going on. And there's still nothing. He, he hasn't been caught yet. I mean, he's been caught, but he hasn't, been
Been-
charged yet. They
Yeah.
have evidence and things like that, but the trial's still going. Why is it taking 8 months yet? There's so many other cases in this world that can be solved overnight.
Hmm.
Clearly, if they have the bullet, they have the evidence. Why is it taking this long? And who knows how long it's going to take? I was actually reading up a little bit before the show, and now they're saying the bullet doesn't even match the rifle.
Yep.
So
Yep.
why is all this randomly now coming out?
Yep.
Why would Tyler Robinson, text text the murder to his whatever it
His
was, she
boyfriend
friend,
thing. Yeah.
and admit it, but yet the trial's still going.
Yeah.
Um, I just think that's a little strange. And, he had a lot of supporters, and I was a big supporter, I'm not gonna lie, of Charlie Kirk. I think he really opened my eyes to America, not just left or right. He just opened up the eyes, I think, to a lot of the younger generation and stuff. And it
Yeah.
really impacted me because of the medical field and um, all that I'm in. And, he how we talked about Vivek and all that stuff, he was there during that. Candace was there during all that. And when the incident happened, it was like all that disappeared. And now it's just Erica Kirk and Turning Point, but you don't see anything else going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is all that changed? And, there's so much. You look at all the videos whenever he was shot and assassinated that day, there was so much security there, so
Yeah.
much security. I mean, the whole school had to know. And how can this guy get all the way up on top of a roof, get in point, nobody see him, run down? If you watch the video, and he ran. Why was
Yeah.
there nobody in that whole area? You know who even provided the rifle? It
And he
wasn't
like
his.
broke down the rifle like as he's running and jumping.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man. That's like some
Yeah, that's
fucking.
like Navy SEAL
I was
shit.
gonna, yeah, dude. That's like some Special Rangers type shit, dude.
so I
Yeah,
think
that whole
the
thing
big
stunk, dude.
yeah, I mean, I just don't. I really think that Charlie Kirk didn't know what was happening that day, but I think other people knew what was happening that day because there was
Oh,
almost too much coincidental things that happened with the text messaging before it, with the rifle. Now the magazine, the wasn't isn't matching the rifle now. They still can't
yeah.
figure that out. The trial's now going on 8 months. Why isn't anything happening yet? We need an answer.
The craziest thing to me is where Charlie is being interviewed in several interviews weeks leading up to his assassination, where he is saying straight up, I am fearful for my life. I am fearful for some of the things I've said. It's almost like he was saying he regretted saying it to an extent because now he was worried for his life. And then bam, there you go. And I don't even want to say who he was accusing. That's like a big no-no on this. Ronan gets mad, and I
Yeah, that's
understand
John's
why.
people. That's John's
But
people.
but yeah, I mean, what's the deal with all of that? Like, it's just wild to me, man. And he was a good person. He wasn't like a horrible person. He was just true to his faith and true to the gospel. I don't think there was really anything wrong with that.
Yeah, he's I think what made him so special is that he was younger, but like he spoke like he had been around the block, and he was very easy to get along with type of thing. And it was easy. I mean, like he said some shit that was like, this guy, it makes sense. Like there's things that like you could talk to somebody and be like, this guy's full of shit,
Well,
or
the
this
thing I
guy's a
think
fucking idiot.
that a lot of libtards didn't like about Charlie was there were no shades of gray with him. It was either black or white.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
to the fucking point. Like he didn't just speak his facts, he believed his facts.
yeah.
You know, if it came out of his mouth, it was as good as the gospel to him. You know, he didn't stray from what he believed in, and I think that bothered people because look at how many liberals are interviewed, you know, and they're made fun of on the streets like, so this person said this and this, and then their response is, oh my god, I knew Trump was a racist. Well, actually Barack Obama said that during this campaign or this rally. You know, they have no clue, and because they don't even know what they're fighting for, Charlie angered them. Charlie made them upset.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
they don't have logic. Like if they
critical
can't,
thinking.
yes, if they can't, speak back, that's when they get violent. They get angry because they don't know how
Absolutely.
to, you know,
And I mean,
they
they even had the one video I watched. He was at a campus and it was a black guy and he was up to the phone and or the microphone and he asked Charlie and said, Charlie was like, so what's bothering you? And he said, well, I want to debate because I had all these mega people this one day at the school that came and said that they were going to rape me. And Charlie instantly, you can watch the video. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
If they were trying to rape you, then did you talk to somebody at the school? And he goes,
campus authority or something.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and he goes, no, I didn't tell anybody. And he goes, well, wait, you said all these people want to rape you, but you didn't tell anybody. He said, how about this? How about right now we go tell somebody? And he goes, no, I don't want to do that. He goes, because Charlie said, I have a hard time believing that a whole bunch of mega people wanted to rape you. There's not many mega people that want to go rape another guy.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Charlie even vouched for him and said, if this is real, I will have them arrested. I will have Kash Patel and the FBI involved. Remember?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
called out like straight up the director of the FBI, and that guy just cowered. I mean, he was lying. He really was.
Mm. I will say this. There's what I think, without getting too into the conspiracy, I think that there was a group behind the whole thing. And I think there's a
My people
video.
group.
Huh?
My people group.
Yes, I think your
Okay.
people. I think your people had something to do with it. And there's a video that I was going to put on here. And I think the final straw. So first of all, Charlie was starting to pull back from Israel. He was starting to be like, "Ooh, hold on a second," with the whole Gaza and the whole Palestinian thing. And again, like, just because you're MAGA doesn't mean you believe every single thing that MAGA's doing. He was MAGA, but he was starting to question the whole Israel thing. And that's like me. Like, I'm America first. I'm not Israel first. Um, and he was starting to question some of these things where I think Erica was like, shut the fuck up. Like, let's just stay the course. Like, they're grooming us to be the next, first lady. Like, let's just pay attention, eye on the prize. And he was kind of like, you know what? I can't get on board with that. They were offering him millions and millions of dollars, and he was turning it down. And it was like, come kiss the wall. And he was like, nah, I'm good with that. But I think what happened was there was a lot of lead up to what happened. But ultimately, I think the final straw was a video of him on the PBD podcast, with Patrick Bet David. And I was going to put it on, but I don't know how it would work. I don't want to like mess with having three people on. But long story short, the Charlie's talking and he's talking about Israel, and he even says, I got to be careful how I say this. He was like, but Israel is trying to ethnically cleanse Gaza. So when he said that, I think that was like
That
the,
was the nail in the coffin.
ooh, gotta go. Like, that was it. That was the comment that I think sent the call. Because he basically said what everybody was thinking. And they knew this guy is powerful. And if he continues to go this road, we're going to have some big fucking problems. And I think even Erica was probably like, whew, I'm going to, like, I'm going to, and then you start hearing about they were having some marital issues, whatever. I don't fucking like Erica Kirk, dude. I never have. The whole just, ooh, 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 and everything about her just seems like an actress. It just seems like a show. And then you start looking into her, dude. Her mom is like a big wig in the fucking cybersecurity for the government. She's an actress. She's been in on dating shows. She's been in fucking
Miss America too,
Miss
right?
America. She's in like music videos. Like she was dating she was on this fucking like dating TV show, like a bachelorette or whatever. And then all of a sudden these two are married. Like the the more you look into her, the two of them don't seem like a legit
Right.
couple. And I think they were being groomed to be in the White House. And I think he started questioning some things. And I wouldn't be surprised if she knew what was going on,
Yeah.
you know?
Brett, you had made a comment about your dislike for her. Tell us about that. What are your feelings, and why do you not like her, or similar feelings as Ronan?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Roden, I think, put the nail in the coffin. I mean, I've even tried to be open to it because I was a big Charlie Kirk fan. I mean, I watched all his videos and stuff like that. I was actually working at the hospital that night. Not at that hospital where he went, but I was at a different hospital that night. And when they were like, "Oh, he was shot, but they don't know if he survived," I knew instantly as soon as I saw the video. I was like, "He's not surviving."
Yeah,
There was
no.
0% chance,
Yeah.
Sure.
and I knew people were keeping hopeful, but I knew he was gone. And I I think that, you know, you watch and how they carried him out and stuff like that. She was never there. She was never there, but yet she was
Well,
at the
she was
rally.
at
Why
home though,
was
right?
I'm sorry?
She was at home with the babies.
There's some people say she was there, some people say she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And
And then,
Huh.
so
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that since all this happened, it's like a show now. You know, she has money coming in. You know, you look at which I love the Super Bowl halftime show that was for America for Turning Point. That was great. But I think that that gave her money to now she can do this stuff. And you see her how much she is now with JD Vance. Everywhere JD Vance goes, she's there. You know, you see them almost together, yet I think JD Vance is now having a kid with his wife, but yet she's right there. Everything she does, she's with JD Vance. And then a lot of the things you watch her, she's like what Ronan said, she's crying and it's a fake cry. It's not a real
Yeah.
cry. It's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
fake cry. You know, why is it just tears, but yet you're mad? You know, when you're crying, it's your voice starts to sound different and everything like that. That didn't
Yeah.
change for her.
No.
I will tell you, there was one moment in the news that they shared this one piece. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about when I mention it. And to me, it was like the slap in the face, like, here, let's just rub it in and just make this more Hollywood than it needs to be to try to convince some of the sheep. And it was the scene where she is hovering over his dead body in the casket and touching his hand. And then there's this like monologue in the background, like, "Oh, Charlie, I miss your voice and hearing you
Yeah.
come in the house." Like, what in the fuck kind of shit is that? You see that in movies. You don't see
Yeah.
that in real life.
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong for thinking this way?
No. I will say this. So there's a couple things that like with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, which really kind of rubbed me wrong. First of all, I don't fucking trust her the slightest. But besides that, like you were saying, is like, how has it been so long? Why is it now 8 months later and now all of a sudden the fucking bullet doesn't match? Like, why did not match the day that this
Yeah.
happened? The way that the bullet went in is now all of a sudden not the way it didn't go through. Like, is that even physically possible?
No.
Then you
And
look at
this
hold
No,
on a
go ahead,
second.
I'm sorry.
And then you look at things like the second he was shot, the dude jumps up and takes the camera down from behind him. That's a crime scene, bro. What are you doing fucking removing cameras that could easily show things? People are saying that could have been a weapon that might have done it.
You know what's
There was
really
hold
Oh,
on.
sorry.
There was an airplane that just dipped out of Utah like 30 minutes after this. There was an airplane that turned off its tracking device as it left basically the area. So who knows who was on that fucking plane. But here's the last thing I'll say. Charlie Kirk did not fucking like Nicki Minaj. He was very vocal about not liking Nicki Minaj.
Hmm.
And here's this bitch on stage with fucking Erica Kirk holding hands, fucking now she's MAGA. What the fuck is that, dude? Nah, dude.
That's weird right there. No, I was gonna say when you had mentioned the camera being taken down, that to me is very reminiscent of the way the Secret Service handled JFK's body in Dallas, and they didn't allow the coroner to do the autopsy, the state's coroner, because that crime happened in Dallas, and they had every right to do the autopsy on JFK, and the Secret Service was like, no way. Like, what are they covering up by removing the body? What are they covering up by removing the camera? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just very reminiscent of that to me. And we all know that JFK was not, if he was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald, it was one of many bullets and contributing factors as to why JFK died.
Space isn't real.
Space is fake.
Yeah, like the whole thing up in the library when, all of a sudden everything looked perfect. It's like, they stage it the way that they want it to be staged. And then, and then you can get crazy. And then there's a video, and obviously with AI, it's hard, but there's a video where when he falls, the chair moves, but the way that it moves, it was like, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you go, like you can question it, but I think the whole thing fucking stinks. And yeah, dude, like dude, the more I watch her, I feel like she's like demonic. Like she has
her eyes look fucking demonic. She looks like the devil.
She's one of them reptilians.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I said
she's
it. You heard it here first on the PTE show.
Erica Kirk's a reptile.
Stupid. So Brett, we're gonna let you take this one away on this Charlie Kirk topic, because I want to get into that other stuff you wanted to mention. That's going to be interesting, and I know Ronan's going to love that as well too. So yeah, wrap up this Charlie Kirk thing here for us, buddy.
Well, I was going to wrap up by just saying, I just think that I think it was a setup. Charlie didn't know about it, and there's so much going on still with it that is going silent, and that they're slowly releasing almost to hide stuff, and we just want answers. And shouldn't take this long to figure out what's going on. You look at that girl that got kidnapped from the FedEx guy that was recent, and that she died, but he got trialed. He's already facing the death penalty.
Yeah, he's getting the sex in the fucking penitentiary by his bubbas.
So why can something like that take less than a week? Yet this incident with Charlie Kirk, where all these, it's government.
Well, I had an epiphany on what you just said, Brett. You said it. Why is it taking so long to slowly release? Think about it. The longer you wait to release information, the smaller your viewership gets. So there's less and less people on it. Look, for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, we were like, we are Charlie Kirk. Yeah. When's the last time you heard that,
Yeah.
And the other thing I was thinking about too is he wanted the Epstein files released.
Yeah, he did. He was
Charlie was huge on that. And he kept saying, I want them released. I want to know the names of every person in there. They should all be in jail. He said every single name should be in jail. They should all face death. If that's what they did and they need to be trialed, they need to be caught. We as Americans deserve to know the names. And then all of a sudden now he gets shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about mega.
Funny how passionate he was about that, and how vocal he was about Little Gaza, and then all of a sudden Epstein is committing suicide, where he's a Jew himself, and then next thing you know, all this is all happening.
He was done by the same people Charlie was done by.
Jesus Christ.
Your people. Him on the bottom, that guy, his people did that shit.
My goodness.
You're
all right, Mr. T there, Brett T. Now, why don't you take us into this next topic? You know, you wanted to talk a little bit about the industry you're in, the medical field, and some of the things you've experienced and felt or maybe rubbed you the wrong way when it came to the FDA and practices and policies and things you have seen in your industry.
So this is huge. I feel like not only I know the show's called, pushing the envelope, I feel like I'm gonna be, as some people say, opening a can of worms. This is almost opening an envelope. So
Let's go. I'll burn it.
I'll my big thing I wanted to say, and I feel that this is huge and us as Americans deserve to know this, is I 100% think the FDA is holding and hiding stuff. Hospitals are holding and hiding stuff, and it needs to stop. I mean, just to throw it back, so my mother actually last January found out that she had lung cancer. It's called small cell cancer, and she passed away September of last year. So right around the same time Charlie Kirk, September 5th, but she passed from lung cancer.
Sorry about that.
So
Yeah, sorry, dude.
she went through all this radiation, all this treatment for it. And I told her, I said, Mom, you have to do what you have to do, but it's not going to work. Well, they said if I do this, it could help with this. It's not helping. I 100% know it is not helping. And there is cure for cancer.
Let me ask
I'm
you a question, and I don't
100%.
mean to shift gears because I want you to really dive into this hardcore, but if you can incorporate this in any way, shape, or form, do you believe in ivermectin?
I don't know what that is.
So it's
hold on, let him stay on track because write it down, John, because I have a question about that as well.
okay, cool. I got it.
That way he can keep going.
So as far as what I say about cure for cancer, I can tell you two things. And if you Google these or look these up, it's going to blow your mind that they're real. Everybody knows what an apricot seed is, right? It's an apricot. It's the seed in the center of an apricot. If you look up apricot seed cancer, there's books out there. There's books out there that's even called Apricot Seed Cures Cancer. Believe it or not, they say 1 apricot seed a day, if you have cancer, will cure you.
I have
That's
a
it.
question.
What?
I have a question. I have a question on that.
Oh, I
Mhm.
love this.
Obviously, you cannot eat or just consume an apricot seed. Do you mash it into a powder and make a tea,
Doesn't
or
matter.
what do you do?
Just
You
eat
can
the
you can
seed?
eat the whole seed. So you can actually go on Amazon and buy. You can look it up. Just apricot seeds in a bag. There's like 25 of them in a bag.
What?
They sell them.
Now, hold
But
on. What is this something you would eat if you have cancer or to prevent cancer?
Either or, because it has the minerals in it to help that fight cancer cells. Everybody has cancer cells in their body, but
Oh,
this will
man.
actually help cancer cells.
Hey, this
prevent.
show might get all three of us unalived.
But
Brett just opened, dude. You didn't open a can of worms, bro. You just
YouTube, we don't know this guy. We have no idea. He
I don't
infiltrated
know who
the
the fuck
show.
this guy is.
so if
Trump
you
is
don't see me
king.
on your lives after this show, you know why.
yeah, exactly.
But
Well, I must say that all three of us were happy. We're healthy. We love Earth. We love being alive.
We love our families. Yes, we are stable.
We are not
sane
interested in jumping off of
individuals.
things or driving things with no brakes and so and so. So continue, Brett.
so that I found out that, and then one other thing that I really want to show you guys, and it's going to blow your mind once you look it up even more. So the reason I found out about this is from CRNAs that I worked with at the hospital. So there's actually 4 CRNAs or anesthesiologists, whichever you want to call them, that actually they have a test lab and they test rabbits, rats, all kinds of stuff like that. They give them cancer, lung cancer, different kinds of cancer, colon cancer, things like that. And that was one of the methods that cured it. But they
What, the
sent it to
apricot
the
seeds?
FDA. Do what?
What, the apricot seeds cured those rats?
Yes. So they tried that as one thing, and then they send it to the FDA, but they will not say it. The FDA will not say that apricot seeds cure cancer. There is everything FDA wise that does not want, and they will say does not cure cancer, does not cure cancer.
Well,
So
because
hold on a
apricot
second.
seeds apparently are bad for business.
If you go to Amazon and type in apricot seeds, the first thing that pops up is a $15 bag of apricot seeds, and it's a 4.5 star with 1,800 reviews.
Okay, really quick.
That's huge.
Really quick. It's really huge because what else the fuck do you buy apricot seeds for? Number one. Number two, how many seeds come in a bag?
It's 8 ounces. Let's see here. It doesn't
Because
say
an
ounces.
apricot seed is pretty light, I would think.
They look like almonds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
They're called bitter apricot kernels. Yo, this is crazy. It's an
So I'm just
8
gonna
ounce
show this on the
bag.
screen. It's on my phone, but
Yeah.
that's a book that I was talking about.
Apricot seeds cure for cancer. We'll add that into the description down below.
There's
so you guys can
228
check
in
that
a
out.
bag.
228
Yeah.
count.
Kernels, yeah.
And how many do you need to eat in a
15
day,
bucks.
Brett?
So
One
you don't want to
day
eat a
keeps
lot.
the-
You just want one.
Dude,
That's crazy, dude. That's insane.
you know
So-
who would dig this, Ronan?
Anyone who has cancer?
You're so fucking stupid.
Good for you, but very bitter, hard to eat. Listen. So my mom had
I'm talking about your wife, man, being a health nut.
John, sometimes, dude, I think you're a liberal retard. So listen, my
I don't
mom-
know how that makes sense. Ronan's wife is into health and fitness, and
yeah, she's not a fucking cancer. So hold on a second. Hold on. So my mom had lung cancer about the same time. Now she did survive, but she was like, dude, they were pumping her with radiation and
Yep.
chemo, and she lost her hair, and like she was all fucked up from it. And so what John mentioned was ivermectin. So ivermectin is a horse what was it? A horse tranquilizer?
yeah,
So Joe Rogan was huge into it when COVID first came out. So it's a dewormer. That's what it is. It's ivermectin is a horse dewormer, but supposedly it killed the schmovid, right?
Yeah.
and
So
cancer cells too.
and cancer cells. So a lot of people take that and the oh fuck, what was the other one? It's in my fridge. I ordered it. But a lot of people went down like that ivermectin thing. I've never in my life ever heard of somebody mentioning apricot seeds.
So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the next part I was getting to, and this is going to answer basically John's question and what you're saying. So there's two things. Well, I'll get to the hospital aspect of it after that, but look up. It's called fenbendazole.
Bendazole. That's what I have. That was the second thing I was trying to name.
Yes.
You just said it a lot better than me.
So it is, if you look it up, it cures animals. If you look up that medicine, they have small cell cancer, which is what is a fatal cancer, what my mom passed from. But yet they have it for dogs, horses, cats, everything. It's a pill. It's $14. They gave this medicine to the animals, and there's testimonies. If you look up this guy's name, his name is Joe Tippen, Tippen. He is on YouTube. He had cancer, small cell cancer. They told him he was going to die. He had stage 4 cancer, same as my mom had. And they told him it was terminal. There was no cure. He said he went to the vet. He had a vet friend. If you watch the YouTube video of his story, and his vet friend said, hey, well, they have this for animals. And he said, you know what? They told me I'm going to die anyways. What's the worst case that's going to happen if I take a pill
exactly.
that belongs to a dog? He took the pill every day, and he's cured. To this day, he had cancer in 2017. He is still alive today.
Holy
But
shit.
it is not FDA approved. They will not approve it. And there's other people, if you look at that YouTube thing, and there's other testimonies on YouTube of other people that have done it, and everybody survived.
Let's go back to what I said.
It's bad for business.
Oh, 100%. It's $14.
Yeah.
Yep. But the cancer treatment per treatment is
Yeah.
in the
Big time.
thousands of dollars.
Big time money.
Yes.
So he bought it at Tractor Supply. He even said he went into a Tractor Supply, bought this medicine for $14, and you still can to this day. And
Yeah.
that was that. But my mom,
Dude, I'm
told
loading
her
up
to
on
try
all
it.
these medicines and apricot seeds.
I
this
have
week.
fenbendazole in my fridge.
Yeah.
What do you do with it? Like take a shot on a Friday night of it or something?
No, so the reason I got it was I got ivermectin and that in
You have
case
cancer?
of, in case one day there's like a hantavirus or something.
Yeah, it's crazy how the FDA will not approve it because it's bad for business. It's bad for the hospitals.
Yeah.
And I can tell you they make so much money and they will hide everything they've done. I have seen so much stuff where, and doctors are on your side. I will say, I will give every surgeon, I'm in the operating room area. Every surgeon and doctor is a lot of times for the patient. It's the hospitals that hold stuff back. They will hold stuff back that the doctors want because they don't want to pay that money.
Well, pay
They
that
wanna
money
hold
or
Lose that money.
have to deal with the red tape with the insurance companies.
Yep. And they will purposely say, we don't have enough beds. There's not enough beds at the hospital. That's not true. It's not enough staff. First of all, it's not enough beds. They have beds. If you look up every hospital, they have thousands of beds. It's not enough staff. But they try and keep people overnight, though. If you're there, they want you overnight. They will do everything. If you go into the ER at 8 o'clock at night, you're not going to be seen till later. They're going to make you stay past 12 because now they can claim you as 2 nights. They're going to make more money.
Dude, I almost wish we let off with this topic. This is the shit, dude.
Damn.
This is like powerful stuff, Brett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's all true. If you look up like you said, like what Ronan said, if you look it up, it says it's cure cancer. If you look up Joe Tippin, he's got a whole story, and you can read all about it. It's wild.
Wow.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
wow,
So
wow.
so you know what okay. So I've had I normally don't talk about this cuz I don't like putting too much out there, but I've had a lot of back problems. So I was injured at work. I've had 5 or 6 failed surgeries, right? I've had a stimulator put in, I've had fusion, I've had microdiscectomies, forminotomies, fucking whatever otomies, right? So and I have terrible neuropathy in bilateral both legs, and some days are really bad, right? So that's why I fidget around a lot because my back bothers me. So I've been looking into stem cell research, right? So again, one of the reasons I like Joe Rogan is because he kind of doesn't trust the medical field. So there's people out there who, like you just said, there's apricot seeds that could help you. So he's into like that holistic kind of thing. So I started looking into stem cell research, and in America, they don't like that. They're not big into that. But you can go down to Mexico
Mhm.
and you could, or Brazil, and you
I
could
thought
get,
it was like Colombia, right?
well, they do it. There's one in
There's like a big push on it right now in Colombia. I was just reading in the news a couple weeks ago.
there's one in like Tijuana. It's like fucking 20 minutes off the border, and it's this massive it's this place where you go and you stay for like 3 or 4 days, and it's like a whole system. It's like 20 or 30 grand to do it. But at the same time, it's like if that's something, for example, I've had 5 surgeries. I can only imagine how much the fusion costs. Like that's got to be a couple hundred grand. And it was a failed surgery, so I'm still in pain every day. I wake up in pain. And if I could pay 20 or $30,000 to get my life back, like all I ever want is my life to be back. My kids have never seen me normal. And that sucks because every
Oh
day
yeah,
I live
that's
in this
right.
pain.
They were babies when
When this
you
happened.
first hurt yourself, right?
So like my kids like tell their friends, they're like, oh, we can't do that. My dad has a broken back. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, so which is true, but like that's what they know. They know me of, my back. So when I looked into it, I can't get that done in America, and nobody wants to touch that, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's taboo. Like we don't do that." And it's like, well, if it fucking works, why are we not doing this?
So let me
And it
ask you, would
always
you
comes
do
down to
it?
the FDA.
Would you go to Mexico
Fuck
and
yeah,
do
I
it?
would.
So what has
Absolutely.
stopped you?
The $30,000.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize, I didn't know if that was a
No,
thing.
like, and if like if they were allowing it here and the insurance covered it, well, you know what happens? When you get your back fixed for $30,000, you're no longer a repeat customer.
Sure,
Who
correct.
does that affect? In the
Bad for
surgery world,
business. Bad for business.
whenever I would go in there, people would be like, "Oh my God, you're just a baby. Like, why are you here?" And I'm like, "Listen, like," and they would say, "You have a surgical back," and I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And they're like, "Well, once you go under the blade, look, there goes John getting high, and he's gonna be fucking forgetful." Wait, who is
Not
this?
bad.
So they said once you get that surgery, you're gonna be like every year in and out. And I'll tell you what, since 2019, every year I've had a fucking major back surgery. And if you think about it, of all those surgeries, and now I have all this neuropathy, and then there's fucking scar tissue because you're going into the same spot. Who knows? Maybe if I would have done the stem cell if they would have offered it, maybe I would be a better man. So it's yeah, I don't trust the government with especially with FDA and health and stuff like that. Um but so my mom had cancer, my mother-in-law went through cancer, and dude, I will say, like, watching both of them go through chemo, like that shit. My mother-in-law lived with us. We had her live with us while she was going through that, and that shit was tough to watch, man. Like,
Yeah.
you just feel disgusting, and it's just, I mean, you're poisoning their body basically
Mhm.
to try to kill off whatever was in it. So yeah, I don't trust them, dude. And yeah, yeah, this is some pretty good shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to put it out there just because I'm in that field and everything, and if people watch or whatnot that have cancer or anything like that, I know it's weird to say take a dog pill to cure your cancer, but I mean, if it's hey, you're gonna die either way kind of thing, I'm going out with a bang. I'm
Right?
Fuck
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
take a
man.
pill a day.
I might start barking. Who knows? Fuck. I'll give it a shot, you know? But I just lost, I'll say this. I just lost a really good friend of mine about a month ago, 2 months ago, to lung cancer. He was older though. He's probably 63, 64. Big smoker, drinker, stuff like that. And he was very much like, I'm not doing chemo. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing like very much like I'm not doing anything. It was almost like he fucking wanted to just be
Yeah.
done. And then I put him on this ivermectin, but I think by the time he got on it, he was already like stage 4. It's already metastasized in the brain, the liver, all over the place. But I mean, I feel like over 6 months, he was like every time I saw him, I was like, oh my God, dude. Like he
What,
was just,
deteriorating?
yeah,
Mm.
dude, he was just like skin and bones, man. And it was tough, man. It was tough to watch it, especially when it's such a close friend, going through that, or a family member. But they didn't want any alternative. It was just like, we want chemo, we want to do
Yep.
radiation. And when he said no, the doctor said, well, you're gonna die. And
Yep.
he died, so there wasn't like, hey, maybe you should fucking have some apricot seeds, or maybe you should take, because he asked them about the ivermectin, and of course they're like,
Yeah.
no, that's not you, that's a waste of time. And
They told my
the-
mom the same thing. They
I
said,
wonder
"Don't
if
do it."
my dad would have ever had a chance. He went into the hospital and they literally said to my sister, "Your dad has 4 weeks to live." And from the day they told her that, he died on day 28, exactly 4 weeks later. It's crazy.
that's
It's
wild.
so crazy.
It makes you wonder what other things are out there that they don't want you to know about. like just like almost just complete sidebar, but like free energy, right? Like there's things out here that are not good for business. Like if you ever look into light bulbs, like back in the day, dude, they made light bulbs that could last like 30 years. But then they're sitting there like all these big wigs are like, wait a second, I can't sell a light bulb every 30 years. Like I'm not making any money. Can we alter it so it dies like every year? And they all came up with an agreement where they make shittier light bulbs so they can sell more light bulbs. So there's a lot of I used to date somebody who was super holistic. John, you know her. And everything was like
Black and
natural.
Decker.
Yeah, everything was like natural, like fucking walking around the house with sage and fucking patchouli and crystals and shit. And at the time, I was like, this this chick is crazy, bro. But now that I'm getting older, I'm like, holy fuck, dude, like Reiki and shit like that. So it makes you wonder how many things are out there, like the apricot kernels. And it also makes you wonder, like, it's something super like if I ordered this right now, I could have it by 4 a.m. on my porch. So it's easy to get. It's $14.99 a fucking bag. Like this is something very easy. Like what else is out there that you know what I'm saying?
So where can
And
you get this book, Brett?
I mean, that was just at Walmart, but you can get them pretty much anywhere.
is that right behind the Rainbow Parade book?
Yes, it's right behind that one.
Jesus Christ. No, the Rainbow Parade book is a fucking disgrace, but this apricot thing, I'm super interested in this. I
Yeah.
want to see.
This is probably so.
I
This
just
is
want
the
to
one
learn
that
how
I've
to
read.
eat it.
There's a couple books out there. That's the one that I read. It's called World Without Cancer, and it's as you see, it's got an apricot on it with the apricot seed. This is right there off Audible, and I mean, you look at it, it's got 4.9 stars, 514 ratings. But what it is it's that vitamin B17. You don't hear about it, but that's what apricot seeds have in it, and that's what it is.
And that's if you look at the picture of this bag, it's in big fucking letters.
Yep.
It says source of B17 vitamins.
All right, let me ask you this: can you buy B17 in a pill form so you don't have to choke on a goddamn rock?
Bro, I'm sure
I don't know.
you could probably grind that shit up and throw it in your coffee. John,
That's what I was asking.
John,
you think you can make a tea?
You know what you could do? You could even take that and stick it right up your butt. I'm sure you would dig that.
It's the dumbest thing. All right.
So hold on.
You can never be serious with Ronan.
Let me ask you well, I'm
You've been asking a million questions. Shut up for 10 minutes.
Hold on. Last question. So,
oh, God.
So you're saying that this is for cancer patients, but is this something that people should be taking as a preventative type of thing?
I wouldn't really say prevent. Me personally, I wouldn't do it preventative. I would do it if I found out.
Apricot kernels.
Correct.
Currently, you do?
No, I do not. Right now, no.
Okay.
And what's the reason you wouldn't do it? Because you don't want to build an immunity to it?
Correct. Because everybody has cancer cells. That's why.
Got it.
So there are some cancer cells that are meant to be in you, and you don't want to kill those per se.
Correct. Everybody has cancer cells. Correct.
So you got to wait till you get
cancer. They could help fight off.
But I mean, it's a good thing to know. Like, so go get checked out and see if you have cancer. And if you do, just take some ivermectin and the stuff in Ronan's refrigerator and B17.
So let me ask you something. Why is it that we've never heard of this before?
Because they don't.
There's probably a
want you to
million
show
things we've never heard of.
That's crazy.
You know, to answer your question, I'm going to use what you said the other day, Ronan. You know, you were talking about this. You know, everybody hears about this virus right now from a cruise ship. I didn't know anything about the Disney cruise ship till you said it. And now I've talked to other people at my work. They have no idea. They go, the cruise ship, oh, with the virus? I say, no, the Disney. And they go, I don't know anything about that. And they're like,
covered up.
It's the same thing. And if you look up, I don't know if you can pull
So
it
you're
up,
saying
John or
the
Ronan.
apricot seeds is the same thing.
It's covered up. Yeah.
Is if you Google B17 pill, if you Google, I don't know if you can show it on the screen or if you want me to, it literally tells you what it is, and it's wild. The first thing right on Google.
Here, you keep
I'm gonna do
talking, and
something.
I'll research it. Hold on.
I'm gonna
John, you
share
can-
something.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, so you can keep talking about it.
I'm sharing it. I have it up already.
Oh, okay.
It's wild. The way that first describes it off the AI, like off Google's AI thing. Yeah, that first part.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah. It's not actually a recognized vitamin. The name is commonly used for a compound called who the fuck comes up with these names, dude? I swear to God, it's like
Amygdalin.
yeah, whoever names these drugs. Have you ever heard of the drug that you give to a lesbian? It's called tricoxagen.
Yep. See? Look, it says apricots, peaches, apples, and bitter almonds.
Yeah. Closely related to a substance called Latril, which is promoted alternative cancer treatment. However, major medical organizations, including American Cancer Society and National Cancer Institute, no reliable scientific evidence.
Of course, it
'Cause they
would say
wanna hide it.
that.
Wow.
Yep.
Symptoms
says
of
that.
cyanide poisoning. What the fuck? Oh, so they're
And-
trying to scare you into out of taking it.
And it says off the AI thing, off of here, it even says it is I don't know if it's going to do it because of my screen or not, but it says it's an alternative. It says it is a compound often promoted as an alternative cancer treatment.
Damn, bro, that's crazy.
What
You ever
bothers
seen-
me is what Ronan just read, where it says there's no. What did it say? There's no
There's no reliable
scientific proof.
Scientific proof, yeah.
That's scary. That's just basically them saying
So
this is the cure.
you want to hear something crazy? So it all ties back to Thailand, right? So look at
Oh,
these fucking
God.
people
We
out in
haven't
like
even
the
said Thailand
Philippines and
once.
shit. These people in the Philippines and Asia are living to like 191 years old because they're eating fucking apricot kernels, dude. They're not getting pumped up with fucking radiation, and they're not eating junk food and poison all day filled with dyes and the shit being sprayed in the skies, dude. They're out there. John, let's go.
Brett, I'm sure you've seen some of our talks or in some of our episodes or shorts about moving to Thailand. What do you think when you hear just two random guys saying that they want to do that? And I mean, I think Ronan would already be there if it weren't for having young children.
Absolutely.
And I'm just waiting for my daughter to graduate. So what are your thoughts when you hear that? Do you take it serious? Do you think we're silly? Do you think there's a way of life that is more conducive to better health mentally and physically?
So I've never been there. I've been to Mexico before. I've been to the Bahamas. I've never been to Thailand. I heard it's great. I know you guys have talked about it. I believe that you could. Would you? I would say, I know you said you're waiting or you have your kids. I think with everything going on, it's a different type of scary because I think that they're like one of the places with like the most like scams. And the tourists get scammed a lot.
I know what he's talking about.
Maybe
And-
in the big cities like Bangkok, but
No, like
their laws are very strict.
No, but
against-
he's not talking about that. He's talking about the actual people will try to scam the tourists. Like they're not stupid. They see tourists all the time and they figure out ways. I was watching a video today about how they fucking trick you into like getting in taxis and doing this and doing that.
Yep.
Okay,
They're
real
scam
quick.
artists.
Real quick, let me ask you a question. It's like that old saying, don't shit where you eat. I don't believe that expats and retirees that move there will get harassed the way a a tourist would. So
Yeah.
are they two different things?
Well,
Do the people have enough decency to respect the people that
I
move
don't
there
think so.
versus the people that are passerbyers?
so here's what I think happens is when you first move there, you'll get taken by somebody. Once you start to figure out the sauce, that's when they're gonna be like, all right, this guy's vetted, like move on.
He's
Yeah.
chill.
But
Okay.
I think once you move there, everyone is gonna try to fucking dick you over in some way. But once you start catching on to shit, that's when they leave you alone.
So
you know what I
especially
just
people like you because you're white as fuck.
because they're gonna be like, oh, look at this pasty motherfucker. Dude, I just looked up. We have 0 people in the chat because this motherfucker's on the video. We got no comments on the chat because he's over here.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah,
you
but
know
this
who you
always
are
makes
is
for good shorts.
yeah, you know who you are is on the shit list right now. But yeah, I think that's with every country, dude. Like if you go to a country, they're gonna try to like Mexico, dude. We went to Mexico last over the winter for on a cruise.
Do you take the
And
kids?
yeah, we took the kids and now that I think about it, it was pretty reckless what we did. Like we went into Cozumel and Costa Maya, which are not great fucking places. The minute you go out of the port, dude, it's like a whole it was actually really good for my kids to see like what life, dude, I'll never forget. My son had to take a dump. So we're on the beach and I go into this restaurant and he's sitting there taking a dump and he goes, "Dad." And he points up and I look up and we're inside this restaurant and there's a fucking massive hole in the ceiling where you could see the clouds. Like you look up and you could see a plane fly through. And he's like, "Bro, what is this?" And I was like, "This is Mexico, dude." Like, and then when you come home to America, you start to maybe be a little bit more appreciative of the stuff
Of
that you have.
roofs.
So, but like when we got there, dude, it was like I remember there was a couple women that walked up. Right, my wife was right beside me. They walked up and they start rubbing my shoulders. They're like, "Oh, you need massage, Mister Boo Boo, so Mister." And I'm like, "God damn, bro! Like my lady's right here, dude. What are you doing?" They're like rubbing me as I'm walking away. I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And
And your
like they'll
kids are
scam
there.
you. They'll the kids everything. They're trying to rub my kid. I was like, "Bro, back the fuck up."
No, you know what they're probably doing? Like when they
Separate
get
me
that close, pickpocketing.
or separate me from the kids.
Yeah, and I
Oh my
mean, we even
god,
went
dude.
when we went to Los Cabos, they did the same kind of thing. When you walk, as soon as you get off the plane, you walk through, you're just trying to leave. So we had a reservation for a hotel that was picking us up, and it was like every second, and they do it purposely, I feel like too, even the airports. There's like
Mhm.
5 doors you have to get to just to get outside. And
Yeah.
there were people, oh, we're, hey, hey, we got you here, we got you. And we're like, no, no, no. My wife goes, well, we're meeting these people, and they go, no, we're part of that group. We're part of that group. Come over here.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
part. Like they will get you. And I was like, no, we're not with them. He said, keep going to the end. Just ignore the people. They
Yep.
they have to tell you that.
They're professionals. Like that's their jobs. Are they're fucking scammers, dude. They're like them Indian dudes that keep calling me about my goddamn extended warranty.
And imagine how many people like fall for what you guys are saying
Yeah,
happened to
I
you. Like,
guarantee you. And you know what though? All they need is 1 out of 10 to fall for it. They don't need 8 people. They just need 1. You know,
yeah.
like, dude. Oh, just yesterday, dude. Let me throw this out here. Yesterday, I'm sitting there getting ready to go pick up my kids, and this dude pulls up. It's 2 guys. It's a white dude and a black dude, and he pulls up and he's like telling me to roll my window down, and it's like 8 million degrees. So I'm like, man, what the fuck does this guy want? And they're in this little minivan, and the black dude says to me, he goes, "Hey, do you want a home theater?" And I was like, I just started laughing and rolled the window up. And he was like, "No, no, no, hey, hey, roll down the window." I was like, "What, man?" He's like, "Do you want a home theater?" I was like, "Bro, no, I don't." He's like, "Oh, because my boss just gave me this extra one." And I was like, "Listen, bro, fucking kick rocks, dude. Like, I'm not interested." Like, this dude was trying to fucking swindle me into buying some fucking bootleg bullshit.
It's so funny that you said that because it like struck a chord with me. It reminded me of a different time in America where that happened a lot more than it does today. Because I don't experience any of that living out where I live. And I'm thankful for that because, man, That's buying some hot shit that fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah. Now listen, if it was something I wanted, I would
My
have fucking
boss
bought it
bought
in a
me
heartbeat.
2 of them.
But like, you got any e-bikes in there, brother?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'll buy that from you. No problem. I don't care if it's stolen or not.
Jesus Christ.
As long as it works. But yeah, dude, there's some fucking professional scammers out there, dude. And you know, that's why like you go somewhere and you buy like these little joints right here, right? So I bought these in Mexico, right? The little Redskins helmet. So when we walked up, was the price still on there? No. When we walked up, this bitch it said $25. And I was like, the fact that it has the Redskins logo, I would have paid it. And then my son, he wanted the Chiefs one, so we got him a Chiefs one. And I said, how much is it? And she was like, oh, for you, Misa, 25. And I was like, nah, get the fuck in the golf cart. We're out of here. And she comes running out behind me and she's like, where are you going? Where are you going? I was like, nah, dude, I'm not paying 25 for that fucking knockoff little skull helmet. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 25 for both of them. And she was like, no, I can't do that. So we got in the golf cart and we left. And when we were coming back, she she must have heard my golf cart. She runs out in the street. She's like, Senor, stop. I give you both for 25. Or no, both for 35. And I said, could you move, please? I'm trying to get out of here. And I ended up getting both of them for $25. But normal fucking Joe Schmo would have bought 2 of them for 50. So everything is negotiable. Everything's a fucking scam. It's who scams somebody the best. It's like almost like a game. It's like who's gonna swindle? Am I gonna swindle you or are you gonna swindle me? But that's like in every country. That's Taiwan. That's fucking any country you go to. You could go to Ireland and it's like that. You can go to New York on Broadway and they're gonna swindle you for a bootleg DVD. It's whoever gets fucking suckered into it is the loser.
That's the one thing I like about traveling overseas. Every single country I have ever been to, and it's been a ton of them, you can do that there. You can't do that the same way here in America, I
What,
feel.
barter?
Yeah,
And
barter and
yeah.
negotiate and try to cut a deal and pay, you know,
Yeah.
it's
That's a
different.
shame because I love that kind of shit, dude. Like
I
I
do
love,
too.
dude. I
Yeah,
used
because
to
you're a
love.
goddamn gypsy traveler, motherfucker.
I
That's
love
why.
going in there like it's $100. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you $99 just because I don't want to give you 100. But yeah, I think out in those like in the Asian world, I think that's probably like you go in and it's like I was watching a video today about massages and the guy's like, how much for an hour? And this bitch said $3 for an hour-long
Whoa.
massage. And
Yo.
then the guy was like, at $3, he's like, no, I'll go next door where it's $1. And I'm thinking, $1? So he's like bartering with this woman over $2 of a fucking hour-long massage. I'm like, bro, just pay the $3 fucking bucks.
Dude, I pay like $100 for my massages and then a little,
Yeah.
you
For
know.
like 50 minutes. You don't even get an hour.
Yeah, you don't.
Could you imagine spending $3 for an hour-long massage? Holy shit, dude. Now the girl might have a wiener, but I mean, hey, who's counting, you know?
You're disgusting, dude.
It's a lady, boys.
All right, let's play a quick game before we wrap this up with Brett, okay?
All right.
So, Brett, what we're going to do is we're going to share with you some of our recent posts. First reaction, or just tell us what you thought when you first saw it. All right?
Sounds good.
And I will turn off the volume on it. So you can see the screen, Brett?
Yes.
All right. Let's look at this one. This one is our best post ever. Ronan posted this a couple weeks ago. All right, go ahead.
How many views did they get?
Like 230,000 or something.
I think it's like closer to 250 now.
All right. Well, let
crazy.
Brett play this game really quick so we can wrap the show up after we're done. All right, Brett, go ahead.
I think it's ridiculous as far as, you know, the Democrats themselves. I mean, just that itself. I mean, women and girls in the, why would they vote? I just don't see why they would vote against it.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
I
All
don't
right.
even know how you would
I
be
don't even know
for
how
like,
that's a conversation.
yeah.
Obviously, there was 250,000 people who were upset about that one.
All right, let's look at this one, Brett. This one right here. Obviously, it's a satire, it's hypothetical. What was your first thought?
Sure, Rubio's great back there. He looks good. Maybe he should be the front one, I think, in that picture.
Yeah,
Say less. That's exactly what I think.
that's same.
But
What about Big
that
Mike?
that blue side is terrible. I mean, it's just two guys on the left and two guys on the right, so it didn't matter which
All right,
one you
good
did.
one, good one, Brett. All
Dude,
right,
them shoulders though, bro. You got to look at Mike's shoulders. He looks like The Rock from behind.
all right. This one's a powerful one for me personally. I was greatly affected by this one. What do you think, Brett?
I mean, kind of like what I brought up in your show from this morning. I mean, I think the school system itself it's so messed up right now. There's so much out there that
Dude,
they're
you're pretty clutch
promoting
there,
this
Brett.
stuff. Do what?
You're pretty clutch there. You dropped a reference from this morning's show talking about this. I like
Right?
that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the school systems are hurting our kids. It's terrible.
All right, let's do
Indeed.
one more and then we'll wrap this up. This one to me was
Oh yeah. You know what? Ask him about the King John joint.
King John. Where's the Kim
The
John.
Yeah, not
All right.
King John.
I think they would launch it off either way. I mean, I think he just
wow.
he would just shoot something up in the air just to shoot it. He doesn't care who it hits. He'll
that's
probably just nuke it
propaganda.
at himself.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even care. I don't think if he got assassinated, they're gonna launch it whether he does or not. If he knows, hey, there's a nuke off in the air, he's gonna launch everything he has.
Yeah, I see. That dude ain't right. You
No.
know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of that kid who kind of got everything and then he went to high school and all of a sudden people started pushing back and he didn't fucking like that. And he had his little temper tantrums. See, not many people will take that dude very serious. Like when you hear like the big leaders, you hear about Putin, Trump, Xi Jinping, you don't rarely hear his name being brought up in the mix. I don't think people take him serious, to
Yeah,
be
but
honest.
he was raised as a rich boy yuppie in Switzerland, going to school in Switzerland.
Yeah, but
Like that's weird to me. A dictator's son can freely go to school in Switzerland and get a wonderful education.
well,
Like he's twisted in the head to think and rewrite his constitution to say that.
So here's the other thing. He's the type of dude, he could be 27 or 79. How old is that motherfucker?
He's probably 40s now.
Well, what?
30s, late 30s.
He's already said he's going to give it to his daughter once something happens. I mean, she's in all this stuff with him.
That's
Yeah, at
crazy.
first they thought it was his sister that was going to take over, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be his daughter. You're right. And he
Yeah, it's the
killed his
Rocket
own
Man.
half brother in
Yeah.
a subway station in Brussels or Belgium.
What?
Yeah.
He
So
killed his brother?
listen to this. There are reports that Kim Jong Un ordered the assassination of his half brother to just get him out of it altogether. And his half brother, the reason Kim Jong Un wanted to do this is because his half brother basically defected from North Korea and went to live as a free man where he's not under this crazy regime rule. And basically, he was like a guitar playing hippie living on the road and had a bank account, that was big, and he lived that way. And the family did not like that. And you can see it on closed circuit TV in a subway or metro station in Brussels or Belgium, something like that, right, Brett? Have you heard
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Where they're like, injecting something in his neck, and 3 minutes later, he is complete paralysis and in cardiac arrest and dead before they even get him into the ambulance.
Okay, so just that being said, I did not know that. So I can't say I'm surprised that he wants to nuke the world if somebody hurts him, let alone he just murked out his brother.
Yeah,
So
for that one reason.
so that makes a lot of sense. So yes, if you harm him, he will he will rain hell on you. And you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? Like I said today, dude, I don't know, man. I feel like it's an unspoken rule. Like if you take off someone's leader, that's the ultimate fucking sacrifice you have to accept.
And on that note, we're gonna land this plane here, gentlemen.
Are we gonna do another show tonight? Or
You're
you know,
mental in the head.
John will call me right after this show. He'll be like, are we doing a show tomorrow? Are we gonna do a show? He'll call me at 6:02. Are we doing it?
Space isn't real.
That's cool. Brett, thank you for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
know it was something different. You said you had never done a live in this capacity, so I hope this was something you like doing. We'd love to have you back if you're ever interested.
Yeah. And you know, I will say this. So I saw I saw a meme the other day. It was like a little video, and it was this guy riding his motorcycle, and he's like, you know, all the content that I do, you know, all I care about is that I made that one person smile. And I will say, dude, you've been with us for a long time now, and it's great to have, you know, see you in the chat. It's great to hear your input. But yeah, we'd love to have you on, man. Like it's you know, especially if there's like if something ever comes up where you know, maybe something new in the news, or maybe you know have a way to
The
save
medical
somebody's
field.
life.
The medical field that
That's
really
huge.
opened our
Um,
eyes tonight. Apricot seeds and
and we
Joe
have a
Tippin and
platform.
B17. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, we have a platform for you to talk on, and it's like, you know, that's kind of, you know, we treat this podcast like a FaceTime phone call. You know, it's just like we forget about who's watching and who's not watching, and it's, you know, the people who are directly involved now. And we'd love to have you on in the future, man, when something comes up.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me, and it was awesome. It was good to hear like how you were talking about the medicine and everything before I even talked about it, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like there's things out there that people hear of or think about, but they don't know too much about it. And it's like go after it. If give it a shot. If you see something like that that cures cancer, it's out there just because it's FDA approved. I don't believe in that. And I think it need to be said. And like I said, I know it's pushing the envelope, and I probably open an envelope that the hospital field won't like, but I
Fuck 'em.
needed to say it because America, that's
Yeah.
who I'm for.
America, bitch.
Yeah,
No,
baby.
that's I will say this, dude. Like I think that
Hmm.
it doesn't surprise me that that's there. It also doesn't surprise me that it's that hidden. Like I've never heard that before. But I will say the amount of people in this country who go through cancer. I mean, all three of us had a family member who had cancer. You
Mhm.
know, like it's so common for this, and
And look,
you know,
2
watching
out
your
of
family
3
go through
parents
radiation and
died.
chemo, watching your people go through that, like, hey, why don't you give this little kernel a shot, dude? That's like you said.
Crazy.
What's the worst case scenario? You start barking like a dog, you know.
Well, thank you guys. This was a wonderful show. And make sure to check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and X at the PTE Show. Until next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brett.
Thank you guys.